Hello, everybody, and welcome to BetterQuest, our show about getting better and holding you accountable, holding each other accountable. I'm Ben Hanson, joined by Jeff Cork.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Really well. How you doing, man?
Doing very well.
Oh, that's
Thank
fantastic
you for
to
asking.
hear. Absolutely. Thank you for watching this or listening to this. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you. This is a show about getting better. You can unlock the podcast version of this show, The Deepest Dive, early access to the MinnMax show. Just help support us in general by checking out patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. And here's the entire pitch of the show. It's about getting better, Cork. It's about a collective group trying to get better any way they see fit. And January, this is the month. This is the month. This is your one shot for that thing in the back of your mind where you're like, God, I've been meaning to do this. I should really do this, but I don't really feel like it. This is your chance.
Yeah.
Set a goal for yourself for the next month, the next year, the next 6 months, whatever it is, and hold yourself accountable. If you like, we have a whole system in place to hold you accountable. So if you support us at any tier on Patreon, patreon.com/MinnMax, 2 N's, you get access to the Discord. In the MinnMax exclusive Discord, it is the internet's Shangri-La. The nicest people I've ever met online are all in there, eager to say hi and play games with you. But there's also a BetterQuest channel. And in that BetterQuest channel, you can share what your goal is. There's actually a spreadsheet, which we'll be talking about later, where you can submit your goal. It's all a fancy spreadsheet now, so you can keep track of yourself and your goal there. And it's a nice way to check up with the community. Everybody's encouraging each other, updating each other along the way. There's community voice calls, which again, we can get into in this episode. So there's a lot of nice ways. So if you're watching this and you say, I've been meaning to do this thing, why not get off your hiney and do it? We'd love to see you in the Discord. Plus, Cork, we're shaking up the BetterQuest format just yet again, just a little bit. Yeah. So normally we have it so that if you're at the $20 tier on Patreon, you can call in. But we kept running into the situation where some of the most inspiring stories and interesting stories of people getting better in the MinnMax community from that, Discord channel were people below the $20 tier. It's like, well, it's a shame not to get their story out there. So for now, the way we're going to do it is that we're going to take community calls, but it's going to be more of a way of highlighting the best work of getting better within that channel from across every tier possible. So it's no matter what tier you support, if you have an inspiring story and you're doing good work, then we might reach out and say, hey, thanks for being active in the BetterQuest channel. Now let's give you a call. Welcome to the show. And now you can insult Jeff Cork in any way you like.
Exactly. Get rid of some of that Bob Buell dead weight. It just seems like it's just momentum carrying that along.
No, Jeff Cork, he's watching in the Backstage Pass right now. He's watching us live.
Oh dear.
Say something nice.
I love weight, and I prefer it to be not alive. So actually, where I come from, it's a great compliment.
It's a great cultural discrepancy. You wouldn't understand, Bob. Oh boy. Last month, we each set goals. How are you doing, by the way, Cork, just with generating goal ideas? Do you have a list you're still going down? Are you finding yourself losing steam with coming up with new goals? We don't have to reveal what your new goal is yet. That's going to be later on the show. But
nice try. I am a font of goals, so it's great to be a bit of a walking nightmare because you look around, spend any amount of time doing some self-reflection, you realize there's only room for improvement in so many aspects of my life, which I am choosing to look at as a positive.
That's nice. You're a bit of a goal miner.
A goal miner. Exactly.
You're Klondike. Is that personal? That's physical? That's everything? You just spin around in circles and say, my God, I've got to fix this.
Sweet Lord. And then my glasses fall off and shatter on the steps of the library. Dang it.
Here's what I was thinking about.
What were you thinking about?
We have levels. Yes. Every time we fulfill a goal, along with the community, you can track your own level in the fantastic spreadsheet designed by Adrian T. We have levels, and so it's nice to level up with your goal once you complete a goal that month. Both of us have failed goals in the past, and it sucks. What do you think about the idea of adding some negative consequences if we don't hit our goal? Because yes, we're publicly shamed, but I don't think that's enough in some cases for us to really shake and bake,
How many fingers do you have?
I can wear that cool glove.
How many do you need to function?
Honestly, not that many.
Okay.
Enough to play, I don't know, Rhythm Heaven, I guess would be the last video game that I'd enjoy playing with one finger.
All right.
What do you think about that idea?
I'm curious as to what you think those consequences might be.
See, I think this is where the Backstage Pass, people at the $10 tier on Patreon watching us live, could help come up with maybe some negative consequences. So maybe by the end of the show, once we give our new goals, they could jump in there and give some ideas. I'm just throwing one out there. What if like the negative consequence for not hitting your goal is you shave off that handsome beard on your face?
Oh, I think that's not reasonable.
Why? You want to hit the goal?
I'm supremely confident that I will be able to achieve this month's goal in particular. So why not? If I don't do it, look out.
Oh, that sucks. All right, we'll save it. Maybe we'll just let the Backstage Pass think about it for a while.
Okay.
But once we share our new goals, we can maybe couple them with negative consequences. If
I do like that idea.
Okay.
I do like that idea.
Oh, good. What was your goal for December?
My goal for December was to get better at building in Fortnite, because when I play with my youngest son, I am a bit of a common theme this evening, a bit of a dead weight.
Yeah.
So, and I could tell that it was a pain point in our Fortnite relationship. So I was determined to get better at building. And I will say, I immediately want me to go into it.
Yeah, please.
Okay, yeah. I talked to Alex Van Aken, who's one of the new video guys at Game Informer.
Yeah.
Fantastic, friendly, awesome guy. And I know that I kind of casually mentioned that to him, and he was like, "Oh, I spent an afternoon with my brother and got good at it." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And then I sent him a message saying, "Hey, could you point me in the direction of like an easy, breezy,
beautiful
video, cover girl showing me how to do this? Like, just I don't want to be like super crazy into it or whatever." And he sent me a link a little bit later. He made like a custom video for me showing these are like the two builds you really need to do. So thanks to him, I can do what they call in the biz 90s, which is just like a little fort with a step or like a ramp, and then you build off of that, and you can build like a little tower to get high ground.
I'm so naive. So there's specific build names for all these different easy variants in Fortnite?
Apparently.
That's interesting.
And then also like a more like not a more bullet resistant ramp for like ascending. So I now have those two things in my arsenal, and I have developed, I won't say flawless muscle memory, but I can crank it out under pressure.
Okay. And you have done it under pressure with your son.
I have done it under pressure with my son.
Now, I do recall the specifics. It was you saying that you needed to receive one compliment unprompted from your son, like a, "Hey, daddy, way to build," or something like that.
Yeah.
And?
Did not happen. It did not happen.
In fact, he's no longer speaking to you. It's not going well.
No, we actually, I was a little disappointed in that, but I feel like, well, we had one catastrophically bad match that ended with me just disconnecting in a huff because he was very mean to me.
Oh, no. What did he say? What did he say?
He was mad because we were down to like 3 teams, and it was just like in duos, and he was getting shot and he got killed, and I did not know where the gunfire was coming from. And he was mad because the guy like dropped down and killed me, and I didn't defend properly. I was like, I had no idea where the guy was. He just got me by surprise, and he was like really harping on me like a coach. And then I was just like, you know what, dude, I don't need this. And I just disconnected, and it was a super tense moment in the Cork household.
Do you think that sounds miserable? Do you think the game's improved your relationship, or is just that thing of it'll melt your brain and just kind of tear things down because things are going to get so tense over and over again?
I think ultimately it improved our relationship because we talk a fair bit while we're just like walking from point to point. And even though it's mostly focused on the game, it's nice to like see what he's up to, and kind of like in the times that the conversation does detour into like, ultimately he has no life at this point because like nobody does, you know? So like,
yeah.
I can't ask him how school is, because if I was ultimately that curious, I could just walk over and look. but I don't know.
So what is it in your mind? I mean, failure because you didn't get that compliment?
I consider it a success.
Are you giving yourself the level up?
I'm giving myself the level up. Oh, there it is.
We didn't think it was
Flawless.
possible. We didn't think it was possible. Okay,
think it
so
was
even
possible.
though it was complimentless, still effectively you felt good about it.
I felt very good about it.
Are you gonna play more Fortnite, or do you think at that point
Absolutely.
it's just
I'm
melted
gonna
down?
continue to play. Yeah.
Okay. And
That
it's
one time when I left it off, that was an anomaly. Normally, that's not how it goes.
yeah. Where was Fortnite, by the way, in your games of the year for 2020?
It was on there. I honestly, aside from like the top couple, I don't care about rankings
What?
for those top 10s.
Cork,
If I
you
could just
can't
make them
say that.
alphabetical, I would.
You can't. That's no fun. Don't you like reading other people's lists?
No, not really.
Don't you just kind of have a little bit of like a will to live, you know, a sense of fun and entertainment?
I think if it was like people that I didn't work with or interact with on a daily basis and talk about games on a daily basis with, if there was like someone who was had some like genuine surprises,
Right.
that might be more fun. But it's just like I look at Joe's list and it's not surprising. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh yeah, these are the games he was talking about all year long and was like excited about. So
Yeah, every
it
once
just
in a
seems
while.
kind of like the culmination of like a snapshot of someone crossing a finish line, and you're like, yep, I knew that was going to happen. I saw it coming.
Well, hey, Jeff Cork,
Yes, sir.
my goal this month was to take dancing lessons.
That's right. I was so excited about this one.
Yeah. So
I want every detail.
boy, do I have it. I took a surprising amount of notes. I went back through and just kind of like, spur of the moment, I would take notes, maybe in the middle of the dancing lesson. Sometimes it's probably pretty rude. And then,
I'm going to be really rude too, just for a second, just to set the table a little bit.
yeah,
Scale of 1 to 10. How comfortable would you say you are in your own skin?
here's the thing. I mean, pretty uncomfortable, but specifically it's that I have zero hand-eye coordination. I have zero control of my body. Like I would get D- in gym consistently because I don't care. I hate being told what to do with my body. I have no control of it. I get pissy incredibly easily. So it is the antithesis of everything. Like the most physical thing I've done, realistically. I mean, I guess I got into running last year, but my body fell apart already. But
This is great because this is the definition of like forced fun in that arena, right?
what do you mean?
Like taking a dancing lessons, there's an expectation you're going to have a good time. This is fun. Isn't this fun?
Right.
It's not like basketball where you're like, okay, it's the thrill of competition. I might not make every basket, but I'm like improving it. Like this is like, you're doing this and damn it, you're going to have a great time.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I was going to say
Pressure.
the most physical thing is I took boxing lessons a couple years ago. So like throughout 1 month, I took boxing lessons, and that was very much like, well, I hate the gym and I'm now paying to be in a gym-like environment, but I kind of ended up liking it by the end just because it kicked my ass so much. But this is, well, I guess it kind of is similar in a way. Some would say that boxing is the greatest dance of all, the sweet science. Anyways, the point is, Cork, when I went back today and read over my notes that I took throughout the month of dancing lessons, it was embarrassing because about every other note was, I hate this. I effing hate this. I cannot, I literally, not intentionally, but I accidentally wrote down, this makes me want to cry because I hate this so much multiple times. It is to that level of like tears in my eyes because I was so deeply uncomfortable and I hated it so much.
Yeah.
But I want to be sure to point out that my girlfriend is a saint for being very patient because I you know what it was? I felt like Paul Reichert. I felt like Dan, friend of the show, Dan Reichert's dad, just maybe intentionally, maybe not intentionally, but you just feel yourself getting so pissy at every aspect of this. And it's like, I just kept reminding myself, like, you're not even trying, you got to pay attention, try and do what they're doing. And I would just check out and just feel this shame about my body in every way. Cause like, I cannot do the things that they're describing over and over again. And it just, it it was more interesting than I enjoyed it, but I got through all 4 lessons. But it just changed my perspective on a bunch of little things. Like we watched some holiday special something. I think it was like on Disney Plus, and Julianne Hough, the dancer, was on it, and she was dancing, and it just made me like appreciate, like, she is so in control of her body. I cannot fathom being that in control of every small muscle in your body. Like, do you feel in control of your body? Like, how many drinks do you spill a day? Because I feel like
Oh, geez.
I'll spill 14 drinks a day, Cork. I have no control over where my arms are flailing at any moment.
Yeah. I don't know, have we talked about this? Like, it's interesting because, like, there was a point in my life, like in my 20s and 30s, where I was like completely at home in this skin in that regard. And like one of the nicest things that anyone has ever said to me, in all honesty, was I went like cross country skiing with some friends, and we were at this one section where we had to like go down this hill that was like not part of the trail, but whatever. And we all did it. And then afterwards, one of them said, like, you look like you're just really comfortable.
Wow.
Inside your body and like the way that you were moving and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's like something I look back on and I miss that because I feel like I've lost touch with that.
Yeah.
In a big way.
Your wife never walks by as you're sitting on the couch trying to inhale a Cheeto and say, you look really comfortable in your body right now.
You know, that notch that you've worn in the couch seems perfectly suited for your ever increasing ass.
I'm so proud of you, Jeffy.
I'm so proud of you.
It was tough. I felt so dumb. And there's like, you talk about like, you know, how it's supposed to be joyous. That is the weird thing about it. When my body is just not, it is, but it is capable of it. There's some block in my brain where I cannot learn new physical things. But the entire point is to experience joy about being in sync with somebody. And that's the part that I just have a really tough time with, where all of the dancers that were giving us the instructions and like all the other dancers that were on this video call on Facebook, it's like a Facebook live dancing thing. Everyone was so happy and it made me happy to see. But then I would jump back and look out of my own eyeballs and it's like, I'm just standing in my living room happy enough, but like the joy that it takes to dance like they're doing, I don't know how to muster that out of nothing. It's coming from something that I cannot fathom.
Yeah. I think that for our wedding, to prepare for that, we took dance lessons, and I had a similar experience where I just got so frustrated because it just it just felt like too many micro tasks to keep track of simultaneously and to make it look effortlessly. So it was like, I just felt like I was just mechanically going through the motions like Frankenstein's monster marionette, where I'm just like, if I nail these positions, it does not look good, even though technically my feet are where they should be, but I'm just like stomping my way through it.
But there's something, I bet you had the same experience because you like rhythm games as well, you know, and there's something where it's like, okay, you just do these moves to the beat. This is almost like a rhythm game, and it's almost like a stylish action game where it's like, now you're learning a new move. Now you can do this move and then segue and transition this move into this move. But trying to keep track of all that and where my feet are at any moment, I just melted down. And you look at the people on like the Facebook Live thing, it's like, okay, it doesn't look that hard, yet they're talking about doing this simple move for an hour, and just the words and the terms never stop about, you know, down holds, up holds. You got to make sure you're this way and this foot. And it's like, it is as technical as you could possibly imagine, which is not what I was expecting. And I tried to be a smart ass about like, you know, what's the point of this? Dancing is just, you're supposed to flail and just feel the music and have fun. It's like,
that's
no.
fun, though.
That is fun in its own way, but it's like there's also something really fun about like having a system to this stuff so that you can be in sync with anybody in the world. Like my girlfriend was talking about how they have these competitions, what are they called? Jack and Jill competitions. And we watched a bunch on YouTube and they're fascinating, where it's dance competitions where the partners have never met before they got on the dance floor. Then they get on the dance floor and they have to dance. And the part that blows my mind is it's like, okay, well, there's a live band and they're just perfectly synced up. You know, that follow is going by the lead. It exactly knows every move that they're doing just by like these little hints. Like, okay, if I move my hand this way, you know that that's when you twirl this way for 1.5 beats or whatever the hell it is. But then they're going to a live band and the competition is, okay, you go for 8 counts and then you stop. And the fact that they can dance so dramatically and have that count in their head, they know exactly when to stop, freaks me out. Like, I don't understand that at all. And I was trying to wrap my head around, like, okay, so the dance steps are to the count of 7, because then on the 8th count, you're back at step 1 and music's in 4s. Like, trying to do that stupid count math in my head melted my brain. And my girlfriend's like, what do you mean? You can just hear the counts in the music. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're able to hear a 4 count constantly looping in music? It's impossible. So it was fascinating. I'm glad I did it. I feel like a real turd for being so pissy about it the entire time. But there is like a lot of interesting history stuff that I really enjoyed. So at the
end of it, were you capable, like, if, like, I'll do your favorite scenario, gun to head.
Right.
Could I make you dance with your girlfriend, and would it please me to watch?
What is your definition of please, sir?
I like people who look nice while they're dancing together and put on a big smile.
Well, here is my trick. I could eventually get to the point of I could like twirl her and we could do moves, but the secret was that as she was twirling or anytime she wasn't looking at my feet, I was just kind of cheating and then just like big stomp on like the beat that I knew I was supposed to be on. But what my feet were doing up until that point, it was very much cheating. So I think it would be really boring, but I think we could look okay. Okay. And the problem is it was all Balboa. I probably should have mentioned that. It's the name of like this dance, which is famously fast, apparently faster, like a faster variant of swing, faster than Lindy Hop, which is apparently bigger and more spaced out. But this is like fast, small steps. That's what Balboa is defined by. But like the history of swing dancing was actually probably the most interesting part, where like Lindy Hop in particular, which is a popular version of swing dancing, apparently it was invented in Harlem, and then I don't know, this is a fascinating tangent probably, but my girlfriend was just regaling me with these stories about like how the modern swing movement is a lot of white people in their 20s and 30s, and they're all doing Lindy Hop, and it feels like it's frustrating that this started in the African American community in Harlem and now it's just kind of slowly become this white culture thing. And it's like, we would like other people to check it out. How do we break out of this stereotype of swing music just being seen as like, I think that's some weird whitey stuff. It's an interesting challenge. But there's this documentary on PBS about a swing dancer called Frankie Manning, who I believe invented Lindy Hop. Somebody in the chat maybe can correct me. This is very specific though. But he has the best story ever, where he was in this amazing movie that has this awesome dance sequence called Hell's a Poppin'. You can look it up on YouTube. It's just very over the top, throwing people around. Like, he's famous for really inventing a lot of dance moves where you're like throwing your partner around and it looks
like olive oil.
Yes, very much. It's awesome looking. So he invented this style, got very popular, and then just died off. And so he just went to go work at a post office for the next 50 years. And then it was in the 90s, I believe it was people from Sweden. They were like, there was this revival of swing dancing and Lindy Hop and like his dance moves in particular. And so then they track this guy down. It's like your best story ever, where they call him up out of the blue and they're like, hi, are you Frankie Manning? He's like, yeah. And it's like, the famous dancer? And he's like, well, I work at a post office, but yes, why? And then he came back and he taught them all how to do this dance. And he said this amazing resurgence at the very tail end of his life, even though he lived to be like 95, where he would just travel the world and teach people these dance moves that he pioneered back when he was 20 in Harlem. It's awesome. Anyways, there's a PBS documentary about that if you want to check that out. So that's dancing, Cork. I technically did it.
You technically did it. That's the best kind of did it.
That's right. So I will give myself one of these. And by that, I mean a bleeding ear. So I guess Cork and I are both at level 5 technically, and I'll mark it on the spreadsheet, Cork. Are you ready for some calls from the community?
I love it.
Okay, great. Let's go to our first call, which, is kind of from the community, but maybe it's the community and more so. You'll know what I'm talking about when this person answers the phone. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, Ana Diaz, everybody!
Hey!
Hi.
Now, because this is audio only, how do we really know this is Ana Diaz? Say something that only Ana would say.
I was just organizing a bunch of plushies on my desk.
There it is! She passes the test! It is Ana after all! Hi, Ana. You're on with Jeff Cork, who I don't think you've ever met.
I have spoken with her.
We've talked on the phone.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Anyways, nice of you two to rekindle here. Actually, share all nice things. Jeff Cork, what was it? I think you were listening to our Game of the Year podcast, and you sent me a message saying how much you appreciated Ana on the podcast.
I sent her a note about that too. And then I was like, this is something that I really have a hard time dealing with. And I'm just going to open up and I hope it's received okay. I love so many things that so many people do. And I want to reach out to them. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want anyone to ever find me a creepy presence. So I don't usually reach out.
No,
like,
I think, in my opinion, you should always reach out, especially in times like these, you know? Like,
oh, right. Well, I will do that then.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, because I want to just say, like, I appreciate what you're doing. And it's like, that's good. It doesn't need to go any further than that. I'm not like, oh, let me send you a picture of my house or anything like that. So I just like the stuff that people do. I just want to tell them. But at the same time, I want to mention people are inundated with so many creeps where it's like, okay, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, Ana, we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but are you inundated with creeps? Is that a common thing for you online?
I'm not like inundated.
Okay.
Like they're there.
They're there, constantly lurking.
Yeah, like every now and then, you know, like I get a creep, but you know, I'm kind of used to it. Like it's not even something that's necessarily new to like right now. Like I used to have a Tumblr blog and there'd be like creeps on there as well. So, you know, you kind of like sadly grow up with it. So.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, hey, in lighter news, you wanted to set a goal for yourself in January?
Oh, switching gears. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I am going to use less social media this month.
Use less social media.
Yeah. So I feel like I should make that into a concrete goal. So, oh God, I don't know if I can do this. How ambitious are these goals? Because I was like, maybe I should say like, I'm going to try and do like 30 minutes of social media a day.
Boo!
Is that not ambitious? And that's really, I'm setting that as a really ambitious goal then.
Oh boy. I think you could, look, you can set what you want to set. I think you could push that a little bit. I mean, okay. I give myself an out where it's like, well, you know, with the MinnMax Twitter account and stuff like that, I have like one browser where I'm logged in with MinnMax, but then my personal Twitter account, I keep it limited to, I think it's 8 minutes a day on the browser.
Okay. 8 minutes a day?
Yeah. To be fair,
I have TikTok and Twitter, which this means that I would be getting rid of TikTok probably, which is, you know, probably what I want.
Yeah. Well, let's zoom out though. Like, why do you want to cut down on social media?
I mean, like, it turns me into like a little gremlin brain. I just like, I mean, there's like a point where I mean, just before you called even, I was just like on TikTok and I was just like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And it gets to this point where I'm like I can consciously recognize like I'm not even enjoying the content that I'm reading, but I'm just like still scrolling. Or like with social media, I think like social media with Twitter, like Twitter isn't as bad in a sense. Like I'm genuinely pretty interested in like what I'm seeing on my feed. Like I follow the right people and I mute people and like I like what I see on a day-to-day basis. But what's hard then with Twitter is that like I feel like it also plays onto other anxieties where it's like, if I'm comparing myself to other people, it's probably because of something I saw on Twitter. Or if I'm, you know, like it's kind of connected to all these other tough things. And it can be a big distraction when I'm trying to like, you know, get stuff done. So.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. I mean, I think my second goal ever on this show was to put timers on my phone for that type of stuff. And
are you still doing that?
I am. I will say this last couple of days has been rough, where I've been, I think, probably with a lot of people, doom scrolling, a ridiculous amount. I know.
I made the decision to doom scroll last night.
Bold decision.
Yeah. So
that's the worst. Like I do this with social media. Like I don't use a whole lot of it anymore, but like just in general, my online, I find myself like in this unhealthy habit of just seeking out things that I know only serve to agitate me.
Yeah.
Like, they don't make me feel good, but I'm like, I want to watch a hypothetical situation. I want to watch a bunch of people refusing to show their ID to police. I'm going to watch a bunch of YouTube videos about this. And it's like there's no situation where this interaction will make me feel good. If I go to like the Reddit, I'm a total piece of, the S word. Like none of those people will make me feel good, but it just like gets my heart rate going. It makes me feel alive for a little bit because like being mad is like feeling alive temporarily.
Yeah. I mean, you're addicted to the outrage. I mean,
it's the worst.
It's terrible. And like, I even caught myself, I was messaging you and Jeff Marchiafava and just complaining yesterday about Twitter. And I'm like, I am so freaking sick of everybody taking this state of America right now and using it as an opportunity to crack a joke, to work on their freaking tight five. I was furious about it. And this morning I was thinking more about it. I was like, it's probably a reminder to get off Twitter, you idiots. Like, what do you mean all these people I'm following are saying what they want to say?
I will say the humor is definitely, it seems to me like a weird trauma coping mechanism. What's hard for me with social media is that I feel like, and maybe this is just like the circles that I walk in, is like, there's this like delicate line where it's like, I feel like I follow like a decent amount of like organizers and like activists who are like angry, and I try and like not shy away from their anger. I try to learn from it. But then there's this other side where it's like, oh, so much of like what I see is just like trauma. Like people are just discussing trauma and like on like a really in a horrible platform, and so sometimes I wonder if that humor is like, oh, just like a weird coping mechanism. But
I think you're right. I mean, we talked about it, months ago on the show, but I still feel like 20, 30 years from now, we're going to look back in this era and be horrified how much social media we consumed and how much time on their phones we consumed. I think it's going to be in the ballpark of smoking and how we look back on that. And be like, you could smoke on an airplane? It's going to be like, you could doom scroll in bed? Like, are you guys nuts? Do you care about your brains?
No, definitely. Like, oh man, like it's just, I mean, it's addictive. It, like wires your brain to want it. And so.
Yeah. But then again, do you think, I feel like, it's easy to be like, oh man, if I could just unplug from this world, I'd be so peaceful and I'd become enlightened if I could just go Walden it up, just go live in a cabin out there in the woods for a month or something like that. But do you think everybody in the 1800s was enlightened? I mean, people were still tortured souls back then. So I don't know. I feel like there's this longing of like, oh, if I could just crack it. And no doubt we should all cut down on this time. But I think people kind of glorify the past a little bit too much there, mental health wise.
Yeah, I think it's like balance. But I will say, like, I mean, I have, I every now and then like will go to like, my family has a cabin that's out in the middle of nowhere and the internet's really bad. And for whatever reason, it's really easy in that context. It's easy for me to like be cold turkey, like no phone. And I just won't pick up my phone for days on end. And like won't be as plugged into the news cycle. And like my brain like objectively feels better after something like that.
Right. Like, so then why not set that timer at 2 minutes?
No way. No freaking way. There's no way. Because like, I think I could set it to like 12. And this is on my phone. This is on my phone and my desktop. I'm literally looking at Twitter as we speak. It takes over my entire life. I can't even be present on this podcast.
I feel like here's what you should do, Anna. If I may just inject my life into your life, I would recommend just getting that crap off your phone completely.
No. Really?
And then there are easy browser plugins to limit how long you're on certain sites, and they're kind of a pain in the ass to turn off as well, because it's very easy to break that seal and start turning it off. So if you want to be serious about it, that would be my recommendation, is set that 12-minute timer on the browser and then just delete stuff off your phone just for 1 month. No big deal. Just 1 month.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try that. I will delete them off my phone. What browser plugin do you use?
It's a good question. Let me see. I can probably pull it up. Stay Focused without an E at the end is the name of it.
That's the same one I used in college. Because I actually I took this approach in college, where I was like, I literally don't have time to be on Facebook at the time, was like, the social media. And so I limited it to 20 minutes a day. But I actually very rarely used up those 20 minutes. Because once I got my brain in like the swing of things, what was nice was that after having the limiter on there for so long, I just naturally didn't.
Yeah.
Go on it.
You get scared of it. Like, oh, I don't want to hit that buzzer. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I believe in you, Anna. I feel like you can do this.
Okay. So wait, so how 6 minutes?
I mean, I think let's go 12 and then get that crap off your phone.
Okay, 12. I'm off my phone. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'm writing that down right now.
Okay. Best of luck, Anna. And it'd be nice to when you're on the MinnMax show and stuff throughout the next month, it'd be nice to update there just in case you're not on the next episode of BetterQuest.
Oh yeah, of course. And I'll probably jump into the BetterQuest channel too and see. Yeah.
Please do. Cool. Yeah. Thanks so much for calling in, Anna.
Yeah, of course. Bye.
Bye. She's on Twitter right now, tweeting, "I hate BetterQuest." It reminds me of a joke about politics.
Yeah.
All right. Next call. By the way, Cork, do you believe that she's going to pull it off?
I think that anyone is capable of anything. Absolutely.
But if you're a gambling man.
A gambling man?
Yeah.
It's tough because I think that's a habit that's easy to fall into.
Yeah.
I will say, in the against column, the fact that she was checking Twitter while talking to us. Unless she was just like, all right, my last day of smoking, and then she did the like, here's all the cigarettes in my mouth at once.
Doom scroll until her hand bleeds. Yeah. Hello, Nail.
Hello, Ben and Jeff.
Hello. Welcome,
How's
sir.
it going?
Good. You fulfilled a great goal.
I did, I guess. Great, thanks.
Yeah, what did you pull off this month?
I made a video. It took more than the month. I think I called it out a few months back, but I made something resembling a video essay.
You are absurd for phrasing it like that. So you had called him before talking about like, oh, I want to finish an old project. I want to make a video essay, maybe something on Little Women, outrage that we're not doing the deepest dive on Little Women.
Not outraged.
You were furious, threatening to cancel your Patreon support. Yep. And then you went and made a video that is essentially the deepest dive on Little Women. I mean, it is above and beyond by every measure. It is an absurd accomplishment. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. That means so much. I know you guys are mortal men just like me, but when you achieve a little fandom or whatever this whole beautiful thing is, that means a lot coming from you.
It is so good. And I speak as someone who has no connection. I think we have, like, my wife is really into Little Women. I am not connected with that at all. I don't know any of the story and stuff, but that video is so good and so fun.
You watched it? I'm so excited.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. That means so much.
I watched the whole damn thing.
It's an hour. It's amazing.
It's an hour. I saw that and I was like, Hanson sent me the link and I was like, all right. And I clicked it and I saw the timestamp and I was like, oh boy, here we go. Let's do this. Because I don't know what I'm going to expect. It was so fun. And I could just go on and on about it. But what I really like about it is that, like, I didn't know where you were coming from. Like, we've had conversations with you about this, right? But it's hard to know, like, where someone is coming at with something like this. And it could have been so easy to be like, ironic detachment, look at this, but like your enthusiasm and like genuine appreciation and like sincerity about the whole thing, and just like your incredible depth of knowledge and being able to compare little moments from various versions of the story. It's incredible. Just being able to like pull all the like the threads together. I loved it. Yeah.
And combining that with a great sense of energy, so many different camera angles, characters within your own video essay delivery.
You sat next to Laura Dern and it looked really nice and cool.
Is incredible. But then also the important thing of like the fact that you have jokes in there. It's like, oh, thank God. The fact that this isn't, a dry essay for an hour. Your emphasis on parkour throughout the entire video and comparing the parkour elements of the various versions of Little Women is excellent.
Yeah,
I can't believe you watched the entire anime. That's insane.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe how not far it makes it into the story from the book. It ends with Meg's wedding, and we don't ever get to see Lori and Joe or any of that. It kind of leaves it on a cliffhanger. And the first 12 episodes are all fiction, prequel, just the anime made it up totally.
I feel like that is going to be, if I were to gamble on something, I'd say within 6 years, there will be a new version of the Little Women anime, and it'll be the most popular thing on Netflix. It just feels like that is the format for the Little Women story moving forward.
I mean, I genuinely think it's a good story. And just so impressed with Greta Gerwig did. So when I hear you suggest that, I'm like, what more are they going to do? But who knows at this point?
Yeah. But, if people, hang on. Hey, cool it, Superstar. If people wanted to find this video, what would they search on YouTube?
It's called Little Women Love Letter, but I don't know that I have the clout or the SEO to get there. So if you throw in Michael Moran after it, that's my name.
Yeah. So maybe in quotes in YouTube, Little Women Love Letter, and then Michael Moran after that.
So you're the superstar. You know how this works.
Oh, please, we're all superstars. I'm sorry. You wanted to say something though.
No, I'm happy that you thought the jokes were funny. I'm genuinely curious. I do well with honest feedback. Were any parts of it cringy to you?
No, if I may be honest, I didn't care for the Little Women. I think it just comes with time. There are times where it's I felt like you could have been a little bit more expressive when you're on camera.
Oh yeah,
but it's scary. I totally get it. There's plenty of experiences where I'm trying to film something by myself, and then I go back and hear the recording, and I'm like, why do I sound scared? It's because I was scared. That's
Here's
why.
The thing. Yeah, I filmed all that like a crazy person in my basement, and then I'm home at my mom's house for the holidays putting it together, and so I'm no longer at the set. So there were so many things I was like, I don't have a single take where I don't look down or sound like an unemotive robot, and I just desperately wanted to be there and go reshoot it, but I lacked the capacity to do so.
That's totally understandable, but it's still it's not bad by any means with that criticism.
You're fine. We're friends. You don't have to.
Okay, great.
Sugarcoat it.
I was so happy. There was a shot of Bob Odenkirk early on. I was like, holy shit, that's Bob Odenkirk. I didn't realize he was in this movie. And then I was like, he's not talking about Bob Odenkirk being in this movie. I find that to be very strange. Maybe he doesn't know who Bob Odenkirk is, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know where you're coming from. And then I was so happy that was a big segment. So
yeah, I thought that was funny. One of my favorite, I know we're just talking about Twitter. I'm actually not a Twitter person, but somebody sent this to me. Favorite tweet I saw in 2019 was somebody put the sound of a audience reacting to Avengers Endgame, the portals clapping when Bob Odenkirk shows up with Little Women. It's incredible.
It's fantastic.
So good.
Now that you're here, Neil, I wanted to ask you the most important thing. What do you think about Greta Gerwig doing Barbie as her next film?
Okay, so I've called that out that I see that on her IMDb. I do not know what that means. I kind of did this accidentally in college when I had ad blocker and no TV. I found that I really enjoy having no context for movies going in. So I don't watch any trailers whatsoever. So I don't know if that's actually an animated Barbie thing, but I would still watch it at this point because she has won me over so much.
It's not going to be animated. I think Amy, what's her name? Not Sedaris, not Polar.
He just told you he doesn't like to know anything about the movie.
Well, I feel like this one's probably one I don't
all
like.
All I know, anyways, it's not animated.
Okay.
Yeah, is all I really know. And I think Noah Baumbach, her partner, is working on it with her in some way. But I hope it's going to be subversive and weird. But it's certainly one of those, double takes of like, what, Greta Gerwig? Like, you can do anything. You're like one of the best directors out there now. Like, you choose Barbie, but
hey, in watching some of the like behind the scenes and interviews, she had the same exact response when she told people she was doing Little Women. So, and I loved that.
Yeah.
So I'll trust her on this one.
Well, I look forward to your video essay diving into the history of Barbie, because it's got to be thorough, no matter what.
I don't know.
Are you
going to
make another one? Another video essay?
So, I mean, I would like to. I like making things, and we've had abundance of time to look at screens in some capacity over this past year. I have a billion other ideas. We'll see if I get around to making them and what form they take. Maybe not as long as this one, but it means so much that you watched it all. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on finishing it.
But Jeff especially, having not been familiar with the story.
And I sent a link to my wife. I said, you better watch this.
Ooh,
wow.
interesting. There we go. The ultimate sign of approval.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I loved,
please.
your guys' goals from this past month were my favorite yet. I love them both.
You wouldn't love it if you saw it. For both of us, it would just be Cork arguing with his kid and me getting pissy with my girlfriend. It's not a fun sight.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, thanks so much for calling in, Neil.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye.
We have feet of clay, Hanson.
Excuse me?
We're not gods. We're just a couple of guys.
Couple of guys who are up to no good.
Yeah.
Sometimes we like to make a little trouble. Next caller. And Jeff Cork, who's it going to be?
I don't know. You tell me.
I will once they pick up the phone. Then I'm going to tell you exactly who they are.
Very interesting.
And I think they go a little something like this. Hello, hell yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, boy, can we. I'll turn you down. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey.
Hello. How are you today?
Good. Thank you for calling in. Your story stood out to us. You're talking about it in the BetterQuest channel in the Discord. You had some stats that, frankly, I want to call you a liar, but then you posted pictures. You said that since BetterQuest started, you've lost 100 pounds?
Well, now it's 102. So.
Jesus, but who's counting?
How dare you, Hanson?
That's insane.
Yeah, who's counting?
Congratulations.
That's amazing.
And the part that blows my mind is you're like, yeah, it's just walking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is just walking with a heavy backpack.
Okay, is it like a weighted backpack, like Dragon Ball style?
No. So if you also saw that post, you would know that I'm doing the Appalachian Trail next month.
Yeah.
And so it has all these stuff that I will be carrying on that trail.
So you're just getting used to carrying that weight for when you eventually hike the trail.
Yes. So you use something called base weight. It's all the weight you're going to be carrying that isn't like weights of stuff that's going to change, like food or water. And so my base weight is 16 pounds, but with food and water, it'll bump it up to like 29 pounds. So I'm carrying a 29-pound backpack on every hike.
So that's awesome. So then with the real hike, it's just going to get lighter and lighter.
Yes.
As the ball of string unwinds, so he can find his way home, just in case.
And as the weather warms up, I won't be carrying as many clothes to stay warm, so it'll only get easier.
Perfect. Okay, I have a lot of questions about this. Cork, where do you want to start with this one?
I want to know why he's discarding his clothes on the trail. I've seen enough episodes of Forensic Files. That's a bad sign.
Well, you see, as you go, like you become one with nature, and so you become a nudist over time. You know?
Oh my God, yeah. They'll say like, and here you can see the exact moment his footsteps transition to bare footsteps.
Yeah, exactly. Become a druid.
How long is the Appalachian Trail?
So I have some stats that I'll read off because I love reading it off. It's 2,200 miles long. It starts.
Wait, how many pounds of food are you going to be eating?
Over the course, I have no idea. You basically you stop in towns along the way, and so you resupply.
I'm very dumb.
You get you hitchhike into like, town.
I think you're gonna die on this. I'm being serious. If you're only bringing 10 pounds of food, this is a bad idea. Okay,
Yeah, no,
anyway,
you
2,200
resupply
miles.
along the way. Yeah, it's 2,200 miles. So it starts in Springer Mountain, Georgia, which is about an hour above Atlanta, and you travel through 14 states up the East Coast. And it ends on Mount Katahdin in Maine. Okay, and you're going to do the distance, or you're just going as long as you can, or what's the goal here? So my goal is to be a through hiker, so to through hike the entire trail, so all 2,200 miles continuously in one calendar year. That's the goal.
That's
Wow.
Wait, what do you do with your job? How does this work?
You quit. You quit. So yeah, I will not have a job when I start.
Here's I feel primed for this conversation because a good friend of mine just hiked the Duluth, the Lake Superior hiking trail. Is that what that's called, Cork?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Oh, great. Okay. And God, I want to say is that 200 miles, something like that. And so he trained for a long time and did it. He had to call it quits at a certain point. He made it very far. We're all very proud of him. But he said that his PT band, the same thing that I had trouble with running, just eventually was just like dead. Like he said, he was just like limping for the last like 50 miles, which seems insane. So if I may emphasize anything for you, it's stretching and, training up the knees in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to give some more stats, around 4,000 people attempt it every year, and only 20% of that make it. So 1 in 5 people actually finish the trail. And it's from anything from people finding out that they don't actually want to hike 2,200 miles to getting injured to who knows, multiple things.
Yeah.
You get just so bored.
Well, that's
I mean, some people just don't find it fun. And so that's plenty reason to stop if you're not into it.
Yeah.
That's intense.
I mean, that's my number one question though, is what are you listening to?
So I have a bunch of Spotify playlists downloaded, obviously, but honestly on my practice hikes, I've been listening to nothing mostly, and I've been enjoying it.
Wow. That's impressive. Well, stay safe and good luck with that.
Are you keeping a journal or like video diary, or like how are you going to chronicle this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to be recording a bunch of video on a GoPro. You need a waterproof camera because it's going to be raining a lot in that area of the woods. And so I'm going to record a bunch. I'm also going to make like a gear video before I leave. So everybody, I'll post it in the Discord, and so everybody can see what I'm carrying on the 5 months it'll take me to finish.
That's incredible. Also, what's the weirdest part about losing 100 pounds?
Oh man, weirdest part?
I don't know. Maybe most surprising aspect.
I thought I could jump higher, but I can't. I guess I was just a really good jumper. I don't know, but I can't jump any higher.
So that's like, I like the idea of like, well, I hit 100, time to leave this earth behind. No.
Exactly.
And it's still like an inch.
Yeah, well, shorts fell down, but oh well.
Oh, dude,
Partial credit.
I need a new wardrobe so bad.
I assume it feels better.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for like those types of surprises, like, oh, breathing is easier, or I don't know, anything like that. Is there anything just weird, surprising, basic human thing where it's like, oh, this is so much better when you...
I mean, I can definitely hike faster, so like, I'm getting more miles in less time. It's just obvious. Even with the backpack, like when I started hiking for the beginning of BetterQuest, I wasn't carrying any backpack at all, and now I'm like, I've dropped my mile by like 3 minutes or something like that while carrying a 28-pound backpack. So it's absurd.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Imagine like almost 4 of those backpacks on simultaneously. And that was you.
Yeah.
That's stunning. Again, congratulations. Stay safe. Push yourself, but don't kill yourself is the motto of BetterQuest.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll try and update everybody on the BetterQuest channel as I walk along the trail.
That sounds perfect. All right.
Awesome.
And when are you actually setting out on the trail?
I start February 25th.
Okay. Yes. Keep us all updated on every step of the way.
Will do.
All right. Good luck, dude.
Thank
Congratulations.
You.
Bye.
Bye.
Listen to this is hell yeah over there. He's losing 100 pounds. You're building in Fortnite, Jeff Cork. You should be ashamed.
You haven't seen these builds though.
Those 90s are pretty sweet, I hear.
Yeah, I could also make ramps that go up very high. That's amazing. If you said right now, like, you have to drive 2,200 miles,
yeah,
I'd be like, hell no, I don't. No, 2,200
yeah.
miles.
Oh, yeah. God, the echo.
Oh, geez, sorry.
If you can
My
mute
bad.
the thing, it's fine. Hello. Hello, Shazira. Welcome to the show.
I forgot to turn that off. Welcome, thank you.
No problem. And Adrian T as well.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, really well.
Hey.
Thank you, too, for being here. 2 community members. Shazira is a mod in the Discord as well. But you two have been involved in starting up, along with the rest of the community, a regular community voice call. Shazira, do you want to talk about what this is?
Yeah, first, before we do that, I have to say that your conversation about dance is making me laugh pretty hard.
Oh,
I used to
good.
help teach tango back in Seattle.
Did I get anything completely wrong based on your knowledge of swing?
I think it's going to be completely different.
Okay.
I
Okay.
took ballroom in undergrad, but I did teach tango for a while. And it's just, I think, different strokes for different people, I guess.
Yeah, you know, some people like to be in touch with their body and some people like to flail around like a baby giraffe. It's fine.
Yeah, but the channel and the voice chats.
Yeah.
I mean, the BetterQuest channel has been there since basically you and Cork started doing this show. And it's always been a pretty great community-driven space. The voice chat has been a lovely weekly casual sort of thing where people just come in to talk about their struggles, their successes, their strategies, their new goals, their old goals. And it's a lot more casual. And I think the week-to-week aspect of it helps people stay on track a little bit more.
Yeah. So when is it, by the way?
It's Monday nights on the Discord. We have a voice chat set up. It's normally around 8 p.m.
Which time zone?
I believe that is Eastern. I didn't say a time zone because I was kind of checking myself. But yes.
Somewhere around 8. Adrian, what stands out for those voice calls for you? What's the mood like in those?
I think it's just how pleasant everyone is. Just to hear about what other people are up to. And I guess honestly, the other thing that happens, it happens pretty much every time, is that you realize other people have ideas that you just never considered before, and that, you know, many people are kind of working on very similar goals. Of course, that said, when Hell Yeah joined last week and he talked about his goal, I was like, okay, well, to follow that up, I'm working on reading a book this month.
Yeah, so there's no way to top it. He just crushes everybody. It's completely unfair.
But yeah, I think that's what's cool, is just that there's so many ideas out, so many different ways to approach a goal, or, you know, different tactics. And that's one thing that has been helpful for me, is I've got ideas to where I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying this right now, but halfway through the month, if I get stuck, I have like kind of a cool, another method or tactic I can switch over to.
Yeah. And I love that everybody in the community has kind of diffused this show out. So it's not just, the BetterQuest show, and then, you know, the feedback happens in the comments. I love this. Like, no, it's this active channel, and it's beyond active and people updating each other, but also these community calls or just group discussions popping up every week. But also, Adrian, I want to thank you because you also renovated the spreadsheet for BetterQuest. So now it's got more math, and the levels add up for everybody into a community level. It's some real, you know, rocket science stuff going on over there. So thank you for your effort there.
To be clear, the person entering the information does not have to do math.
That is true. That is a great
the math
point.
is done by the spreadsheet, yeah.
Yeah, unless your BetterQuest goal is to do math, then it gets complicated. But you cannot fulfill that goal in the spreadsheet itself. Do you all have goals for the month? I saw something about Dune. What is this?
Okay. Well, sincerely, Eric has been organizing a Dune book club of sorts on the Discord. So there's there's a role that they're tagged with, and then there's like checkpoints, kind of like how you folks do the deepest dive, but they're trying to hit at certain points.
Gotcha. That's awesome. So it's just a big group. And where are they talking about Dune then? Is it in the BetterQuest channel?
Currently, yes.
Okay. Awesome. I'm glad that the community is tackling Dune. I mean, I wanted to do it for a deepest dive last year, and then the movie got delayed, and I was debating doing it this year, but I think this is probably not going to make the cut for things that we should probably prioritize in front of it. But I'm glad that the community, again, will pick that up, and that they're still having a nice communal discussion about Dune before that movie comes out. Because when is the release date for the movie?
I think it got pushed to December.
Okay. Yes, I forget exactly. Well, awesome. Thank you, too, for all your hard work in the community, and everybody else in the community that's doing a good job keeping that BetterQuest channel rolling. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you folks for putting this on, because I really do think it's just so refreshing to have such a positive segment.
Yeah, we try our best. Thanks so much, everybody. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Jeff.
No problem. Thanks a lot, Adrian. Bye. All right. Do you feel good about yourself yet, Cork?
Yeah, let's be negative stinkers now.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Speaking of negative stinkers. Oh, here it is. I couldn't figure out exactly what was going on here. Bum, 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 bum. Hello, Reed.
Hello.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, what?
You're coming in hot, but I got you covered. How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Good, good, good. Thanks for calling in, and thanks for entering a wonderful entry into the spreadsheet that's in the Discord channel. Yours caught my eye out of everybody's because your goal for January is...
Oh, am I supposed to say this?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Yeah. So I'm journaling every day before bed. So
I love that.
It's pretty standard.
No, it's still cool. I like it a lot. What made you want to do that?
What's that?
What made you want to do that?
Oh, so I've kind of had this goal for a while. Like the past 2 years, I've bought like journals, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this because I really want to see, where I'm at in certain points in my life. Right now, I'm about halfway through college, and I thought it'd be cool to see how I've changed through these sort of formative years.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart idea. I know that because I'm insane, I wrote down, there are a couple points in my life where I wrote down like everything I was thinking about or worrying about that day. And I think like that type of introspection is really interesting in particular to come back to. And then it's like, oh, that's right. I was so worried about this and these people. And it's so nice that that's not part of my life anymore. And it's just, you realize that all of these frustrations are just the most fleeting thing from the grand scale of time, Jeff Cork.
Yeah, I have like journals that I've started to, and like looking back at it, it's just like this awful reminder. It's like, oh, that person clearly was really into me, and I just was not picking up on it at all. So as you're writing your journal entries, just view it through the lens that everyone is into you. That'll be really helpful for you.
So sweet, nice.
That's your biggest frustration. Is I could have kissed so many more people.
I could have been a remorseless smooching machine.
Oh boy. Yeah, has anything stood out so far, Reed? Of like, oh, you don't have to get too personal here, but have you written things in your journal where it's like, oh, it's interesting that I'm spending so much time on this. Maybe that is enlightening in some way.
Nothing like too enlightening. The biggest thing is I find myself writing more than I kind of thought I would. Like you kind of begin. I'm like, I didn't really do much today. Like maybe it's like a Sunday, and I'm on winter break right now, and so all I'm doing is like playing games and just being lazy. But I just realized like, oh, I did this, I did that, and I sooner or later the whole page is like filled. I'm like, whoa, that was easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Are you going?
I love that you're doing it on paper. I will say as much like I could go on. I hate a lot of what Facebook has done, but I wish that there was a way that like this day in your history, like anniversary things. I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Like the few times that I do log in and it's just like, oh, there's like one of my kids when he was like learning how to do this one thing. It is so delightful. I wish there was like an equivalent for a journal, because like otherwise you're just like flipping through and you have to do it so long. You know what I mean? There's really not a point to that.
Well, no, I think there is. I mean, Google Photos used to be the best. They're making you pay for it in 2021, but I wonder if there's some solution there of just like taking a picture of your journal at the end of every day, and then it'll pop up at the top of Google Photos, at least on the phone app. It'll say 1 year ago today. I always get pictures, and I'd imagine it'll pop up that journal there too.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like
so this journal I'm using is it's kind of nuts. It's a 5-year journal. It's got every page is a day, but then there's like 5 entries on it. So I'll actually be able to look back in like, it goes to 2025. I'll be able to look back, to what I did in 2021 or 2023 or something like that. Yeah. So I'm hoping that'll kind of do that effect. I mean, not like as far back as, in like 10 years from now, I'll have to like crack out this book and, figure out what's going on. But I'm hoping that'll kind of simulate that effect with paper.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
I think you're probably like, unless you're like a Doogie Howser level genius and you're like 12 or 13, like doing this like mid college, you're like at a fun age where you're like, I'm speaking from personal experience, so your mileage may vary, but it seems like that was a point where I was like starting to coalesce into the person that I was today, but there's still enough that about myself at that age where things were in flux to where it's fun to revisit it, because I saw things similarly, but so differently at the same time, where if I do read like old journals, it's just like, I feel like I know this guy, but he's like a cousin of mine, but not me.
He's just missing a couple perspective shifts. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that, you'll have fun looking back at that later.
We promise. And you can call us up in 5 years, and no matter what, we'll answer, and we'll go through your journal with you.
We can roast you.
Oh, fantastic.
Right now, we'll treat you with the utmost respect, but in a few years, we'll tell you what we really thought.
5 years from now, when BetterQuest turns so dark, and it's just a hate show, gets kicked off YouTube. Okay, thank you so much, Reed. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks for letting me talk about this.
No problem,
guys.
dude.
Have
Good
a great
luck.
show.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, crap, I cut him off. I hope he doesn't write about that in his little journal.
That's his list of grievances for the day. Unsatisfying appearance on podcast.
Also, shout out to other people who have entered their goals in the BetterQuest Goal Tracker, which again is pinned in the BetterQuest channel, the MinnMax Discord, which you get access to if you support us at any tier on Patreon. But Smiley is going vegan this month. Dear friend Hugo is getting better at budgeting. And Marvel, I forget if it was last month or this month, but he wants to quit caffeine.
Oh, that's a good one.
Which, not to brag, January 1st was my year anniversary without caffeine.
Interesting.
So everybody throw wreaths at me. I don't know. I don't know. It's fine. I think we should get to new goals, Cork.
All right.
Are you ready for that?
I would love that.
And I think it's time for our new goals theme song.
Yeah, let's hear it.
That's not really the theme song. It's just another level up sound from RuneScape I had plugged in. Anyways, Jeff Cork, your new goal for the month of January. Walk me through which ones you were debating, with the decision-making process, and what you landed on.
All right, here's the deal.
Yeah.
As a family, sometimes we'll sit together and watch a movie together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the last time that happened, it was Wonder Woman 1984.
I love it.
However,
you're a man who defends Suicide Squad, and even you saw Wonder Woman 1984, and you're like, eager.
I thought Suicide Squad had moments of fun. Wonder Woman 1984. Oh boy.
At least they went for it. That's what I thought watching. It's like, it's so absurd and so silly, but it's like, I guess I've never seen a genie superhero movie, so...
I've heard like it being described as like every decision they made was the wrong one, and it's fascinating because of that. And I would agree. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yes.
But and not everything is for me, but at the same time, like I love that first Wonder Woman movie. I thought it was fantastic. I had a great time with it. Anyway.
No, we're not done talking about Wonder Woman. What do you think about the criticism as well, where everyone's like, boo, Wishing Rock is so stupid, boo, and it's like, have you seen Marvel's films where the entire MacGuffin for a saga was to collect 5 wishing rocks? Like, how much of a difference?
Were smaller though.
Oh, okay, and they were cooler looking, but still just as ambiguous and silly ultimately. But I think it's just the way it's presented. It's somehow
we had enough time to get into it. This was more like, hey, what kind of rock is this? I don't know. And then the Max guy was like, yeah, I know what this is. Well, how? Nobody knows. It seems like there's a longer cut of that explains things, and I don't know if it'll be a satisfying explanation, and I don't know what a longer cut could do to like punch up that combat or make elements of it less fundamentally bad. Right. Again, it's also strange there was no 80s music in that at all.
I kind of find that refreshing, but boy, is there a lot of music. Like that soundtrack is booming throughout that freaking movie.
Yeah. I want silent. Show some respect. It's Wonder Woman.
So your goal this month was to review Wonder Woman 1984. I think no wonder you were so, carefree about fulfilling this one.
Yeah. So anyway, as a family, we'll do that. And then sometimes like my wife and I, we just finished watching Little Fires Everywhere, which was really great. Hulu limited series, Reese Witherspoon, and a wonderful cast.
I feel like
Washington is in it. It's incredible.
This is confusing to me because I haven't watched any of these fire films. Okay, so Little Fires Everywhere, that's what that's called?
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Halt and Catch Fire. Halt and Catch Fire. Or
not to be confused with that, which is also very good.
Not to be confused with Lady of a Portrait on Fire. Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Not to be confused with, I don't know, there's probably some other fire film. Fire Walk with Me.
That actually is to be confused with Fire Walk with Me.
It is to be confused.
It is to be confused with that. So
and it is canonical.
Probably where you're confused.
Okay, great.
But anyway,
yeah.
Sometimes while we're watching things, I'll look over and I'll see like something that I'm really excited about. And then I'll see like, see my wife, she's looking at something on her phone. It's really bugging me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm like, you should pay attention to that. And then to my horror, I realize, I'm doing the same damn thing.
Yeah.
I'm dinking around on my phone when like a movie has a slow part. It's like, I didn't used to be that way. So my goal for this month, when I'm watching a show, when I'm watching a movie, I'm watching a show and I'm watching a movie. No phones.
No phones.
No phones. I think it's going to be simultaneously easier and harder because it's super easy when like something you're not fully engaged with, like Wonder Woman seems like the perfect, like, this isn't for me. I don't like this. I'd rather just like do anything else right now. I'm faking that I have to go to the bathroom a whole bunch. And I'm standing upstairs making gross farting sounds and saying, ow, my belly.
Just Metal Gear.
But my belly is just fine. No, but I feel like if you're going to engage with the piece of media, the least you could do is like fully engage with it. And I've kind of gotten sloppy about that in some ways where it's just like, I'm watching a show and it's like, this part's kind of slow or whatever, or, so I'm just don't put my phone away. I'll put it in a different room.
Yeah. I used to think you could review the quality of a Telltale episodic chapter of a game by how many times you check your phone during it. And be like, this episode of Tales from the Borderlands.
Out of nowhere, you're like, I guess I was supposed to like duck down that alleyway or whatever.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to be more selective with your media because of this?
I think that would just, in general, I need to be maybe a little more selective. I think I'm pretty good about that, though, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think my media choices will change necessarily.
Do you have a favorite piece of media from 2020?
From last year? I was really glad that it's not from last year, so it's a cop-out. For me, watching Halt and Couch Fire, which you mentioned, that was like one of my highlights of the year for sure. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what else that I really loved. The problem is like I watch so much stuff.
I know. I was amazed listening to the Game Informer Show podcast. You mentioned that you watched that Ridley Scott sci-fi thing. I was like, what?
Raised by Wolves?
Yeah, like how do you have time for watching that?
I just like in the morning before anyone in the house is awake, I'll play games or watch shows.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm very impressed. Okay.
You should watch that, by the way. It's so cuckoo bonkers.
I don't watch a lot of TV, Cork. I don't got time for that. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be better about watching TV. I'm watching Veep now. That's like a big thing. It's like I'm actually watching a TV show. Look at me.
Oh,
Praise me.
That's fun.
Is this going well?
I'm watching Venture Brothers with my oldest son, and that's like become like our little ritual experience, and it's super fun.
That does sound fun.
I think I've talked about that before, but whatever.
Okay, so you just don't want to. So the goal is just don't check your phone during any media ever.
During like watching shows or movies. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. All right, and if you glance at your phone during a show or movie, you will shave your beard off. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not going to shave it off. Here's what I will do. I will dip it in tar, set that on fire, cut the little tufts out, and then shave.
Come on. I mean, it seems like an easy one not to mess up. Do you feel confident that you're going to?
I feel 100% confident about it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So maybe not the best for raising the stakes.
It's not great for like a punitive goal or anything like that.
Yeah. And I would put a punitive goal on mine. I'd put some stank on it, as they say. Yeah. But mine's a mushy one. Okay. It's a big goal, but it's mushy. So you tell me what you think of this, Cork.
You're a good man.
That's right. My goal this month is I'm going to blow this because I'm very stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about. So everybody please have mercy on my soul. I'm going to learn katakana. So I'm not going to learn to speak Japanese, but I'm going to learn to read the specific written language of katakana, which is an alphabet, one of multiple within the Japanese language.
You can do that in a month?
Okay, this is what I'm basing it on, Cork. I don't know anything. I'm basing it on going to Japan so many times, and in particular, there's one PR person that we travel with, and it was amazing because she could like read everything on a menu and read signs. I'm like, oh, you know Japanese? She's like, no, I just learned katakana because it's all just like versions of English letters. So you can kind of like piece stuff together.
Oh, yeah.
And learn like, oh, they say this word like this, and I'm not even going to try and impersonate it because I'm going to blow it. They say this word.
Voice.
Nope,
they really liked it at dinner.
nope. But they say things like this, and they add these letters on this way because that's the alphabet in katakana. And I was so jealous of that. And she's like, it's really not that hard. And I know I'm not going to be going to Japan anytime soon, obviously. But I would like to have that skill set of at least understanding more how katakana works.
I love that the metric is she said it's not that hard, which is exactly what someone who just does a double handspring in front of you and nails the landing stares at you dead in the eyes like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, I was near tears for trying to move my feet 3 inches at a time in a rhythmic manner. So
I love it.
I think I can tackle Japanese.
So how are you going to learn this? Is there like an app?
I don't know.
That's all roads lead to that.
I'm just going to call the PR person and just beg, teach me.
What's this mean?
I think I'm going to probably start with a YouTube video that I don't know exists, but I'll assume it does. Just what is katakana?
Alex Van Aken, please make a video for me. What is katakana?
And then I'll try and find an app. I know that there are like apps that teach you Japanese, but I'm not interested in speaking Japanese. Yeah. I know how to say Mizu. I think I'm good. Yeah. But all I'm looking for is some app that will only teach me katakana, which I assume exists. I know there's actually there's a game that's on Steam and it's on Switch called Hiragana Pixel Party. Mm-hmm. And I think in that they will teach you katakana, but I played it and I don't think it's going to be the most efficient way for me to learn that language, although the main theme is very good in that game. So I might go back to that game, but there's got to be a better app that I can get. And I ain't spending no money on it. So if anybody has any free app recommendations for learning katakana, I'd like to learn your recommendations. Also, Jeff Cork.
I will say real quick,
yeah.
I'll interrupt your next statement.
Please.
For a split second, I was thinking of kendo, the like sword fighting, like, and you said you wanted to learn katakana, and I was like imagining you with like a wooden sword in your house, swinging it around. I was like, I can't wait to see this. This is gonna be a disaster.
Hope you like my YouTube series. No, I think it came from. It was a double whammy. I forget what the first one was, but the second was I finished Yakuza Like a Dragon and I played that entire game in Japanese. So I've just been drenched in Japanese over the last several months. And I was like,
you chose wisely, by the way. That's like the best way to experience those games.
It's so weird where it was the first chapter where I switched over, and I'm so glad I did. I absolutely adored that game, by the way. It is long, but I still absolutely adored it. I can't believe you finished it for review. That must have been such a grind. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. But then it's so weird now. Like, I looked up the launch trailer, which is an excellent launch trailer for Yakuza Like a Dragon, but the voices are in English, and it makes my skin crawl. I'm just like, what? Those aren't right. And I can't imagine getting into the characters when they're speaking English. It just feels like, I'm sure you can get in that groove, but it just feels so much better in Japanese. Granted, after 50 hours with these characters, it just feels like clearly a stupid dub, but I think they did a good job for the English as well. But, did you switch back and forth? Did you go Japanese or?
No, I go Japanese from the beginning to end. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, the ending of that game, I loved it. There were a couple like extra silly things at that end where I was like, well, okay. I still love this game, but there's a couple like, what? Really? Okay. But also without spoiling anything, there's something that they kind of leave ambiguous, and I'm very heavily leaning on, I hope that didn't actually happen. And that, are you with me on that one, Cork? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Okay, hopefully we don't find out that it did happen in the next one, but still amazing. Hey! Oh, I was going to say, we should start a segment on this show that's called Quick Tips.
Quick Tips?
Yeah, you ready for the theme song?
Yeah.
It's just It's just the RuneScape sound again. We'll come up with one. But just something for people in the community to share. If you're in the Backstage Pass and you have a quick tip, you can let us know. We'll read it on the show.
I have a quick tip.
Yeah.
You should sign a metric for success when you have a goal. Like learning katakana. What was your metric, by the way? That's a little passive aggression there, my friend.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't know. What would it be? Just learn how to read the alphabet?
Can I have a sign that you don't know about ahead of time? A few words and you have to tell me what they are?
Yes, don't forget that. That's a really funny idea.
Okay.
And it's just a secret message.
The secret message for you.
Okay, that sounds fantastic.
And if there's someone I don't know katakana, obviously, if there's someone in the community that can help me out with this, I would greatly appreciate it.
I'm sure somebody can help. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My quick tip is very similar to that. My quick tip is, when you're craving a burrito, Jeff Cork, which is probably every day, and then you eat that burrito and then all your brain can think is, why in God's name did I eat this burrito?
Yeah.
Recently, I assume that they're a common thing, but Asian burritos. I found a store where I can get an Asian burrito, which is just chicken, still white rice in there, and then it's just got asparagus in there. And it's basically all the thrills from a burrito, except you feel good after you've eaten it. It's really fantastic. So look, nothing wrong with a Mexican burrito. I'm just saying, leave yourself the option if you're craving burritos, but feel terrible about eating a burrito, maybe try and find an Asian burrito.
So I know this is probably going against the idea of a quick tip. I would like to clarifying question, if I may. Is it because the burrito you ate too much of it? You could just eat half of the burrito, the normal one? Is that what's going on, or is it the beans making your?
I'm not imprisoned with rations. If I'm ordering a burrito, I'm finishing that burrito. There's no way.
Okay.
I can't control myself that way, Cork. I'm very bad with food. Quick tip from the chat. Sincerely, Eric says, "Hey, quick tip. Remember to have patience with your progress as you go along." Patience with your progress. Wise words from Sincerely Eric. Well, Jeff Cork, I wish you good luck in your journey to not check your phone nearly as much.
And I am excited to punk you with my cool sign.
I hope it's the best message possible. Cool. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching this, listening to this, jumping in the chat, staying active. If you want to be a caller on next month's episode, basically, hey, be active in that channel and have an interesting goal. Swing big, and the more active you are, the higher the likelihood we'll choose you for a call. Right? Does that make sense, Cork?
I love it. I think it's gonna be so much fun.
Absolutely. Cool. Thanks so much, everybody. Until next month. Be good, have fun, let's go. Do you want to get your name or Twitch or YouTube channel in the description of everything we release? Record a podcast with us, put a picture of your choice on MinnMax's TV, or a whole lot more? You can check out the benefits for supporting us on Patreon. If you support MinnMax at any tier on Patreon, you can submit questions or comments for us to read on the air, and you'll also get access to the wonderful MinnMax Discord. We need your help to keep this whole indie trainer rolling, so we'd appreciate it if you checked us out.